If a man can't keep me alive in a post-apocalyptic situation, I don't want him. How are you even attracted to somebody who would just get pillaged as soon as the government fails to enforce the laws? You don't really love him because you can't. Because what you really love is the social contract that we all have right now that allows him to stay alive. As soon as the world fell, you wouldn't be able to love him because you guys would have been pillaged and you would have to choose a stronger man. I would also go as far to say is like, as a man, you can't fight, you can't shoot, you can't grow food, you can't fish, and you can't figure out how to get us any of those resources. What are we doing here? If none of those needs are met, then I might as well just go be with another woman, because at least I'll have emotional security and stability while I'm fighting for my life with the lack of provision and stability.
All praise.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Rakwah, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wakawathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson, and today's lesson is going to be on this. I thought this is such a strange, funny, but also oddly accurate sentiment, I guess, that it's actually incredibly spiritual that she is saying this, okay? Although she does kind of, the way she's presenting it, if you want to criticize that, okay, I guess, but ultimately the way she's presenting it, it does kind of seem like what led you to even want to make this video in the first place. But it's still something that is going to be, because the thing is that a lot of people, they have actually kind of came to terms with, this society is not going to last forever. We're not going to always be in here. We see, as a matter of fact, heck, even with the whole DJT thing with the war and stuff like that. So even with that, that has been a growing concern with people that actually keep up to date with this type of information, where they realize that, okay, you know what, this is very clearly like a possibility, all right? And the possibility is that all hell breaks loose. People are gonna go crazy. And as a matter of fact, I was wondering what about a precept. Let me get this and add it to it. Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the courts of their action shall stand in their power. So basically, people invading one another, saying, I don't have any food over here. I can't go buying any food at the store. There's a famine, there's no food at all. I have to go to my neighbor to steal food from him or whatever and stuff like that. That's basically what's going to go on. And she's bringing this very real concern, where she's bringing this very real concern that, excuse me, she's bringing this very real concern of if when that time comes, Lucky, not if, when that time comes, or I guess if for her, no, she definitely probably, whatever, who cares? When that time comes, when that time is actually upon us, what's going to happen is that if someone decides, I know this person, this household, all right, it has money, has food, or has supplies or whatever the frick, and then you go and then someone goes to that household, then they're going to try to kill and rob them and take whatever they want from them and stuff like that. But of course, the exact same way, because you have to think about it like this, the exact same way that someone would breaking and entering to rob into your house. That's the exact same thing where you expect, okay, well, someone's breaking my house. Police is not going to get here within 5 seconds for you to protect you and whatnot. You're only protected by, you're literally only protected, or most people are only protected from people running up in people's houses only by the threat of the law. So just having a police presence is enough to deter crime. But when you take away that police presence, then it's like, oh well, what is stopping me from just going and doing whatever I want? Because there's no one that's moderating or enforcing said laws, or even the social contract of you don't steal from me and I don't steal from you, you don't kill me and I don't kill you, and so on. All right. So as a result of that, what she was basically trying to say was that when this happens, when all hell breaks loose, she's saying that the main thing, the base thing, is that, which I'm not gonna lie, kudos to her for actually being able to acknowledge that, especially with how women today, they are all about this whole women empowerment and stuff like that, rather than actually acknowledging that if a man there was just a one-on-one situation, man versus a woman, then more times than not the man would, an average man would overpower said average woman. But over here she's acknowledging that, you know what, like, if you, and she's also acknowledging that a lot of these men today are also incredibly weak and effeminate. All right, so as a result of that, you know, it's just like, oh well, if I as a woman, in I'm speaking on behalf of her, not obviously I'm talking about myself. If she's basically saying, if I as a woman am with the weaker man rather than I'm being with the stronger man, when those two men clash, these two men clash, or someone's coming in to my home to rob me or our household, our household, then my weak man is going to be cleared, all right, in the matter of seconds, and my stuff is going to be taken from me because this man is incapable of doing anything. So that's why she made all those lists and said all that stuff, which again, like, the fact of the matter is that that whole effeminate thing is a result of Esau Edom's influence. All right, where that's been a major thing, where what they do is they have been saying, oh yeah, a boy can be a girl, a boy can do this, a boy can do that, whatever, and vice versa, where, you know, men have become more, I think there's a study that said testosterone levels have decreased over time. So this is where we have more effeminate men, or men that are more akin to women. And on top of that, there is the matter of a lot of I'm not gonna lie, I just thought of something. Let me just take a quick Google search. It's do more men trans. I am actually scared to see this. Wait, what? Wait, so hold on. It says more people assign. Data on this is mixed and changing. Historically, more people assigned male at birth sought transition, so men going to the other side, and then studies showing a ratio of 2-to-1 or higher for trans women over trans men. Okay, this terminology, I hate this when they do this, because this always confuses me. Anyway, continuing on, however, recent data suggests rates are becoming more equal, or that trans men may outnumber trans women in younger. Okay, so in younger demographics, I'm trying to watch my wording, but in the youth, girls are more starting to change. That's it. but in terms of adulthood, then it's the men that are changing. All right, so yeah, so for the most part, I guess in terms of like what you're seeing in terms of adulthood, then that's when it's just like, okay, there's more adult men, I guess, compared to adult women that are partaking in this. Interesting. I never knew that. I never bothered to look this up. And by the way, I'm not bullying or saying anything negative. All I'm doing is pointing out a fact. So hop off my blah blah age was okay. So anyway, going back, as I was saying before, with the whole effeminization type stuff, that's where, okay, so if for the actual men that are going around being batshit crazy, then it's just like, oh well, they're in during any type of trouble, then these batshit crazy men are gonna just go around unchecked because, oh well, the probability after let me actually get this in second Ezra chapter 16 verse 33, the virgin shall mourn having no bridegroom, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. And, that's the thing. They're gonna need. Again, I'm going back to this video. He was talking about. I was gonna link it in the description. He was talking about how there was a bunch of men. Slocky, there was a bunch of men that were just being killed randomly. They were just dropping as flies. Slocky, about the hiccups. And as a result of that, again, it's just like, well, as the population of men drop and decrease, it's just like, oh well, there's just gonna be a bunch of men men left over that's gonna be batshit crazy, attacking people and whatnot. Anyway, continuing on, another thing I wanted to go into was, she was saying that there needs to be a man that can, are you able to get food, get these resources, get all the resources that's needed for us to survive? Well, if you can't, then what's the point of all that stuff? And this reminded me of this because there may be, because I can't, I obviously, I'll just use to say myself, for example, I obviously, or not even just me, but most people in general, they don't know jack shit about farming and stuff like that, growing your own food. Most people don't know that because that's not a common thing, because we have grocery stores and stuff like that. All right, could you learn? Sure, I guess you can learn, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the main thing is this: that for us, for the men of the Lord, we rely on YAHAWAH. Let me actually get this. Consider Luke chapter 12 verse 24. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and Yahweh feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls? So basically, the thing here is that the same way that the Lord makes sure that the birds eat, because birds, they don't have no storage or anything like that. They just always are fed by YAHAWASHI. So if the Lord is feeding these birds, how much more will the Lord take care of you, his servant? All right. So as a result of that, continuing on, 1 Kings chapter 17 verse 1. And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said to Ahab, as the Lord, power of Israel, liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these days, but according to my word. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is by Jordan. All right, so basically he's telling Elijah to go somewhere and hide. Verse 4, And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. So basically what happened here was Elijah went somewhere specific to hide, and he hid someplace that didn't have no food, no storehouses or anything like that. Basically what happened was, when Elijah was hungry, the Lord made ravens, birds, to bring Elijah food. So how much more that YAHAWAH is going to do the exact same thing for his diligent servants, all right? Where the servants are going to say, okay, I'm over here. Whenever anything happens, the famine comes, because there's definitely going to be a famine, all right? How much more I'm going to take, or the Lord's YAHAWAH is going to take care of his servants. Going to say, okay, well, this servant, Kawakab, whatever, just for an example, Yahweh is on one of them. He's going to say, oh, he needs some food. Let's make sure he has food and whatnot. And he's going to send, he could do anything. He could literally do anything. He could send people, animals, make me find something, or whatever and stuff like that. Put us in a situation, or set us up to be in a situation where we are delivered out of our starvation or any situation that it is. All right. So as a result of that, that's where, the men of the Lord specifically are going to be protected and taken care of. But let me also get it was this. Hold on, because it's specifically one thing. Oh yeah, here. Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. And over here, in the tail end of this verse, it says to take away our reproach. Basically the acknowledgement that the men of the Lord are being around the men of the Lord basically implies, or damn near guarantees, all right, or I think the best way to say it, the most fair thing to say, is that it basically guarantees that no matter what happens, the Lord Yahweh is going to deliver said person and their household, all right, for being faithful and whatnot. On top of that, Isaiah 32 verse 2, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of the great rock in a weary land. Basically all the hardships, all the things, it's going to be or the man is going to be the covering, the protection, or whatever, stuff like that. Just as, funnily enough, she was acknowledging it, where in Apocalypse, using her terminology, we wouldn't need, or said man wouldn't be needing to deal with all that stuff, because Yahawadah is going to deliver said man or said group. All right. Anyway, continuing on, Sirach chapter 4 verse 27. Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty. And this is why it's so important to not affiliate yourself, or not just randomly associate yourself with foolish people, evil, wicked, and whatnot, because they are going to be receiving their judgment. All right. Now, next, to end it off, Matthew chapter 15 verse 14, let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, the both shall fall into the ditch. And that's, again, to end off there, where if during this time you're following someone after someone that, oh yeah, I'm gonna take care of everything, or this and the third, or I know, or even people that know how to shoot a gun, grow fields, and all the stuff that she listed and more, even if there is someone that doesn't guarantee safety, because at the end of the day, let me actually get that over here. It said over here in Luke chapter 12 verse 16, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully, and he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? And he said, this will I do, I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. So basically, to sum this up quickly, this rich man said, okay, yeah, I have all this riches, I have all these things, I'm just going to store up and build a big house or a big storehouse and whatnot, so that I'm going to be good for so many years. I won't have to worry about anything, okay? Then we jump down to let's continue. Verse 19, and I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. And Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So basically, let's continue on. Verse 21, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward Yahweh. So basically, YAHAWAH is basically showing that, yes, you can have all the riches, supplies, and whatnot. You can know how to do everything in the world, but that's nothing if you're not on the good side of YAHAWAH, because the YAHAWAH can easily make you have a heart attack, get some disease or something like that, where you die before you get to actually enjoy the pleasures that you have accumulated for yourself. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Shabbat, Shem, Rakak, Wada, Shabbat, honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, Baba, and Shalom.